How to not suck at SaaS ads. Respectfully, most software companies are dangerous to themselves and their marketing budgets when it comes to online advertising. From spending tens of thousands of dollars on completely irrelevant keywords to accidentally being shown on adult-related searches, I've seen it all. The common theme is that most SaaS companies don't know what they don't know when it comes to paid ads. This is especially dangerous when looking at the time, money, and efforts wasted. Hopefully in this video, I can shed some light on this, help make an ROI, and save a lot of money from being burned along the way. Paid ads didn't work for us is the classic line I'll hear in these sales calls. And every time I hear this, I always follow up with further questioning to figure out why. Usually, this leads to me finding out how the prospect was doing paid ads could be the equivalent of me being a stunt double for Jackie Chan. And I'd love to work with Jackie, but I once tried to follow up my friend's breakdancing act at a wedding only to end up face down on the floor, so might not be the best candidate for that. Also, if you find that video online, just go ahead and report it for me. Here's the basics. Now, assuming that your software is good, valuable, walks your dog, saves you time, whatever, the paid ad strategy that you're going to use early on to maximize wins and minimize losses will depend on the type of SaaS you have. Is your software one that people are searching for example, thousands of searches a month over a variety of keywords, or one that prospects would love to have once they know this type of solution exists? Your answer immediately narrows down the different types of strategies you should use first. So based on this chart I made, if your software is more searchable, you can typically just go to Google, and Bing too as well, and start there. That's going to be the path of least resistance, highest intent traffic. Now, depending on low CPCs or high cost per clicks, you'll have different strategies, but it's a pretty safe bet to start with. Now, if your software is more discoverable, whether it's B2B or B2C, you'll go with different platforms. So if it's B2B, typically start with LinkedIn. If it's B2C, you can do Facebook or YouTube. How you win on these platforms, though, is by having amazing creatives and an amazing offer. Keep in mind, prospects will be freezing cold. They're not looking for what you have to offer, so you need to warm them up with value, nurture sequences, and retargeting ads. Each ad platform has its own interest level that you can use to your advantage or disadvantage. For example, someone watching YouTube videos on a specific topic could be more curious and more likely to buy your solution rather than someone just aimlessly scrolling through their Facebook feed. You have different interest levels per traffic source. Now, I'm sure you can find people who are ready to buy your enterprise B2B software on TikTok. All I'm saying is the chances of that happening are pretty slim. So you want to play your averages. Basically, on the platforms like Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, Snapchat, these people are very cold. They're just scrolling on the platform. They don't really care what you have to offer. Then you have people on YouTube who are going to be watching specific subjects. Say I have some sort of financial software and I want to advertise on people watching videos about how dividends work. That could be a cool audience to advertise my product to. Lastly, you have the buying stage, which are going to be usually search-based platforms. So Google, Bing, AOL, I'm kidding. Just Google mostly. So they're already looking for you, which is 90% of the work. They're already at that stage where they're trying to buy. And that's why these platforms are more expensive, because they work more usually. Google Ads, old faithful, old tried and true. Google Ads is the best place to find the highest purchase intent traffic out there, period. These are people searching for what you have to offer, and there's really no way to beat that. They're basically raising my hand saying, hey, does anyone sell this thing? And you're like, I do. And they're like, great, here's my credit card. That's why this platform is typically more expensive. It does not have cheaper costs, but it has highly qualified traffic with a high intent to purchase. Think of these visitors as already having their company credit card in one hand with the mouse in the other. It is one of the most expensive ad platforms, but it's because the clicks convert to sales, which means the competition is going to be more willing to pay for those clicks. So a decent ads budget is required for this platform to work well. Don't just run at it, throw $500 and expect a $50,000 enterprise sale to close in a week. If anything, it gets more risky the less money you have to invest early on, because you might just spend right under what you need to spend to get that first sale. You'll throw your hands up in the air, stop and say, it doesn't work for me. The Google Ads gods don't care about me or my business. Here's your competitive edge. One key to making your Google Ads campaigns work way better than everyone else is having an amazing landing page. Basically, don't give people a chance to leave. Within the first few seconds of them hitting your page, it should be abundantly clear of what's in it for them. What's the value you can provide to them? What's the end result? If you don't do this, people are just going to click that back button, go to your competitor's ad who has a nice page, and convert there. Here's the questions you want to answer through your design and your copy on your landing page. What can you you do to help me, and how do you do that, roughly? How can I trust you? And do you have the features I'm looking for? How do I take the next step? Facebook ads. This platform does typically have cheaper costs, and while your audience probably is on Facebook if they're searching on Google or on LinkedIn, it's much harder to find highly qualified B2B traffic. Also, the people on this platform do not have a high purchasing intent for your B2B software. They're scrolling Facebook. They're not looking for what you have to offer. So this platform is great for scaling, pretty bad for high quality B2B software traffic, usually. So it does have far cheaper costs than LinkedIn ads, but over the years of testing this platform just for B2B SaaS and enterprise deals, we found that it's better to steer clear of this traffic channel first unless you really have the budget to go through the steep learning curve. It could take you tens of thousands of dollars to finally figure out a funnel that converts. But it's really great for low friction offers like webinars, free lead magnets, and things like that. Pretty hard for booking B2B SaaS demo calls out the gate. It is great for retargeting. LinkedIn ads. Now imagine if Facebook had way higher quality B2B traffic and targetable audiences. Now imagine if it was also way more expensive too. You guessed it, that's LinkedIn ads. This platform typically does not have cheaper costs, but it does have highly qualified B2B traffic. However, there is also a pretty low intent to purchase, and you'll find this common theme with all the display platforms or platforms where people are going there to consume other content. Now, we have seen a lot of success when it comes to LinkedIn ads when our clients typically have larger budgets to spend. You're not really going to have the problem of how do I get high quality prospects to opt in for these lead magnets. Your real problem is going to be how do I get all these prospects who opted in for this lead magnet to actually book a call with me? You're going to be struggling mostly with how do you convert those MQLs to SQLs, and this is exactly what we've dealt with time and time again. There is quite a bit of figuring it out that you're going to have to do when it comes to changing your offer, changing your creative, and maybe even changing your targeting on this platform. It's a lot easier said than done, and just because someone opted in for your on-demand webinar does not mean they're ready to book a call with you. Figuring out the exact funnel that's going to work on this platform might actually become the bane of your existence, but once you do get it, it is a highly scalable channel for B2B traffic. Also, your creatives better be damn good because you're going to be paying quite a bit per click. Retargeting ads also work great on this platform. Last but not least, here's another platform you can start with if you're trying not to suck at SaaS ads, and that is actually going to be YouTube ads. As I mentioned, this is actually a great platform for finding people who are currently interested in or watching videos on certain topics. It's also really great for marketing. This platform does have cheaper costs than other ones. The B2B traffic quality can kind of be questionable at times. We find a lot more beginner focused types of leads here, but depending on your SaaS, that actually could be a good thing. And the intent to purchase is kind of hit or miss. People often come to this platform to learn or be entertained, so keep that in mind when you're crafting your video creative. Now, the way to win here is to absolutely dominate with your video creative because that's all you got. If you're running pre-roll ads, you're quite literally interrupting someone's viewing experience, so it better be a damn good interruption. Make sure your ads are punchy because you literally have seconds before someone clicks that skip button. So here's some final pieces of advice. If you don't know some simple best practices, you might lose a lot of money when it comes to advertising your SaaS. And you can focus on, where's that whiteboard? You can get lucky with paid ads early on, but what we want to focus on is consistency. You can get your averages down, you can consistently get booked calls within a certain range. That's what's going to make this channel scalable. I mean, I once closed a six-figure deal off of spending $500 in ad spend, but that's not the norm. It could take me another 50 grand before that next deal comes along like that. Focus on controlling the controllables. Who can you target? What kind of sexy offer can you give them? And how can you get them to say yes with the least amount of friction possible? And lastly, if you want to keep your costs low, the platform supports it. Always use video ads. You're going to get new audiences to target based on who watched your video, and you're going to usually pay much cheaper cost per clicks because the video is usually more appealing than the static images. Most of the time though, just start with Google ads. You'll get more sleep at night. If you want more strategies for B2B SaaS ads, check out this video. Click it. And if you want help with this kind of stuff from someone who's been there and done that, schedule a call below and we'd be more than happy to chat.